Deandra Ford was a pretty young woman from Houston, Texas. She was 21 and recently started as a dancer at Diva's Bikini Bar and Grill, which was one of Houston's biggest. She had a 4-year-old son named Malik, whom she adored and spent all of her free time with. She put him above all else. She spoiled him with attention and affection. According to Deandra, she lived for Malik. She made it a point to provide for him in every way. Her family describes her as warm, sweet, and funny. Someone that was loved by everyone who knew her. As a 21-year-old, Deandra had worked a few jobs, but nothing offered the money like dancing at the bikini bar. Her first goal after she started work was to get a car. She looked forward to depending on herself more. In a short time, she became very popular and had a number of admiring men who wanted to be more than friends. One night, about 3 weeks after she started, she was seen speaking with a man at the club. As it got late, the man apparently offered Deandra a ride home. According to video footage, she accepted. Around 1, when she got off work, she was seen getting into the back of his white van. The van sat for over an hour. The driver was seen getting back into the front seat and then leaving the club. The van was seen heading down the street. Deandra made a call at 2 a.m. to her cousin, but her cousin missed the call due to being asleep. Deandra never showed up at home. She was never seen alive again. Her uncle and grandmother filed a missing persons report the next day.
First up this afternoon, the family of a Houston woman is desperately searching for her after she went missing about a week ago.
Yeah, police say she was last seen getting into a van with a customer at the bar where she works, and those last known moments were caught on surveillance camera. Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle is live in East Houston, and Sherman, I know you spoke with the family.
Yeah, I did. Good evening, Dominique, Anthony. So the last time that someone saw 21-year-old Deandra Ford was right outside of the Divas Bikini Sports Bar and Grill. And they've been calling and texting her, but no response yet. And the family says they will keep doing that until she either answers or they find out where she is.
You can't sleep because you don't have any information. They're not giving you no hope, you know. And all I just want her to do is come home.
Bridget Carrier says the family's doing everything they can to find her granddaughter, 21-year-old Deandra Ford. She was last seen on camera in front of the Divas Bikini Sports Bar off of the East Freeway near Federal Road. Her uncle, Kevin Carrier, says she had been working there as a dancer for only a few weeks. Carrier saw the bar surveillance video himself and says it shows on September 21st around 1 a.m. Deandra gets in the passenger seat of a white van outside the bar with a customer. They sit there for a little over an hour. She could be seen in the front seat.
After that, they drive off in a direction in which the club doesn't have cameras, and that's it.
A friend received a call from Deandra around 2 a.m., but they were asleep and missed it. Calls to her remain unanswered. Her uncle says before she got in the van with the customer, that same man was seen talking to another staff member inside the bar for about 20 minutes, and they seemed to know each other. The family says that interaction brings about questions.
Why is the information on the girl so scarce to come about from the club? Why is someone that this guy is interacting with, along with one of your waitresses, someone that you don't know?
Police have released very limited information on this search. The family tells us they try not to think of the worst case scenarios for Deandra and hoping that whomever she left with that night hears their plea.
Let her come home to her family and her son. Just don't continue trying to hold her, or if you making her do anything, you know, out the way or whatever, just let her go.
It's a pretty tragic situation. She is the mother of a 4-year-old son. Now, when we got here earlier, we saw two detectives walking out. One had a small duffel bag. We're not sure of what was in it or what it was, but they have very limited information. No suspects have been identified. If you know where Deandra is or have any information that can help to solve this case, call Houston Police.
The police reviewed the club's video footage and quickly saw the van as well as Deandra sitting in the van before it left the parking lot. Only a man was seen getting out of the van later. The van was found 3 days later with Deandria's bloodstains in it. There was other genetic material mixed with blood also found in the van by forensics. Eventually, they were able to trace the van's plate number to 51-year-old Yoland Washington. Yoland was in Dallas being held on another unrelated charge of sexual assault. There was blood spatter on his jacket when he was arrested. It was the same one he was wearing when recorded getting out of the van. It wasn't his blood. The blood was later determined to belong to Deandria. He was also a match for the second genetic material found mixed with Deandria's blood in his van. When questioned by the police, Yoland stated that he had given Deandria money in exchange for adult favors. Houston police charged him with the murder of Deandra Ford while he was still in custody in Dallas, awaiting trial for one of the other cases he had accumulated.
Now, Daniela, the remains of Ford found in Dallas County, the same county where the man investigators say perpetrated this crime, killing the 21-year-old, also remains in jail. It's an outcome family members of Deandra Ford didn't want to see. Her remains identified in Dallas nearly a year after she disappeared from this bar and grill in East Houston. Ford's uncle, Kevin Carrier, spoke with KPRC2's Rochelle Turner shortly after her disappearance.
Just at full disclosure, we were told by HPD that the guy, the person of interest, suspect, was detained out of town.
The person, this man, Yoland Washington. He was arrested in Dallas for a different case, but later charged in Ford's murder after investigators said they had evidence connecting him to her death. Court records show investigators saw surveillance video of the two getting into Washington's white van, but he was the only one seen leaving the vehicle. Dallas police tell KPRC2, quote, "This is being investigated as an unexplained death and the investigation is ongoing." However, Houston police tell me they're leading the investigation and waiting for Washington's extradition back to Houston. And Washington remains in jail on a $1.1 million bond. Reporting live, Roman Belogan, KPRC 2 News.
He had multiple sexual assault cases in 2 different cities. Both were with adult favor providers. One of them included a murder. All of them included women. His criminal record includes multiple assaults against females who were usually adult favor providers. He had demonstrated his violent criminal nature many times in the past, so his bond was set at $1.1 million. It took over a year for Deandria's body to be found by road workers, but it was. It gave the family closure and allowed them to give Deandria a proper burial and proper memorial. But the family hopes for justice for Deandria, as Yoland Washington faces other charges from multiple cases. He's currently in custody and awaits trial for the murder of Deandra Ford.